Welcome to the opening 2 rounds in the 2015 Miller's Oils Toyota MR2 Championship here on the 1.95 mile national circuit at Donington Park. The champion for the last 2 years, Matt Palmer, may have moved on to racing with the Ginetta GT5 Challenge, but the MR2 Championship is as popular as ever with an air-capacity grid for the opening meeting of the season. There are 3 classes, and Matt Suckling caught up with a driver from the Roadster division.
Dan here with Jonathan Grimes from the Miller's Oils Toyota MR2 Championship. Jonathan, you're back again to do it all for another year. You looking forward to it?
Yeah, definitely. It's I think my 7th or 8th year, so it's always fun. But it's not the best of starts when you start looking at the weather. But it's going to be an exciting afternoon, I think.
And you're back in the Mark 3 as well. How's it holding up at the minute?
Yeah, Mark 3 is good fun. I was in a Mark 1 years ago when I first started, then moved to Mark 3, and it is great fun. It's great to get a lot more people on the grid. There's about 7 or 8 of us now. But it's also good to see some Mark 1s back on the grid as well. So we've got the full array this week, so it's going to be fun.
It's a very windy day here at Donington Park, wet too, although I think it's stopped raining for the moment as the cars making their way out onto the grid for the first of the 2 races today. There's number 70, which is Daniel Wiggins, Merrill Reddit as well, number 81, one of the 3 Mark 1s that we have on the grid this weekend. Final few rows of cars are coming into position, and then we're going to be ready for a 13-minute plus 1 lap race. Sean Traynor is on pole position, Stuart Nichols next to him, Miles Hodgson and William Powell on the 2nd row of the grid. Lights go out and the race gets underway. 35 cars on track then here at Donington Park. We lost one yesterday because Jim Davis picked up a back injury, so he has dropped out. It's Sean Traynor with a good start though. We go on board with Christian White, number 4. Trying to make a move down the inside of number 43, Darren Aldworth, who qualified very well on the 3rd row of the grid. White there started alongside him. Sunshine out now here at Donington Park as it's Traynor that leads the way then. Stuart Nichols in 2nd place. 3rd and 4th are right together, and one of those cars is the Darren Aldworth machine. A challenge being made for 2nd. That may well be Christian White that's managed to squeeze his way through up ahead of Stuart Nichols now. As we see Mick Nichols go through, and there is the first of the Mark 1 cars, the 55 of Dave Hemingway, who started right in the middle of the grid on row number 9. So good to see Mark 1, 2 and 3 all represented here this weekend. So it is Sean Traynor that leads. Number 4 is 2nd, so that is Chris White. And then you've got the 2 drivers side by side there. One of them is 54, Miles Hodgson, who's lost a couple of places from his 3rd place starting position, and number 43, Darren Aldworth. Here's the view from the 2nd place man. You can see what a great lead that Sean Traynor already has. Sean Traynor in number 27, 44-year-old from Winchester, but we're on board here with Chris White, Stuart Nichols, looking either side, trying to find a way past. You can see that in the top of the picture there from the in-car camera with Chris White. Looks like Aldworth is there in 4th place in the background now as they come out of the chicane for the first time. Rain is falling again here at Donington. Very changeable conditions we have, challenging for the drivers to have to deal with. On board with Nichols then. It's not too far behind White. In 2 different types of car, of course. As Nichols gets a bit crossed up. It's the Mark 3 Roadster for Nichols. It's the Mark 2 for White ahead. Mark 2 is a heavier car but a bit more powerful. Mark 3, the Roadster, a bit more light on its feet. It looked like Will Powell was not too far behind there. Yes, there he is in 4th place in his silver Roadster. He started on 4th on the grid. Behind him he's got Aldworth. There's number 50, Andrew Strange, and number 81, Merrill Reddit. As we have a spinner up ahead, that's the 92 car, which is Dan Holmes. And from Slough, as we watch Miles Hodgson. And Darren Aldworth getting very out of shape there. Just behind him was Tim Heron, who I think was having a moment in sympathy. We're on board with Heron now. That has allowed Mark Barber to slice in between them. Barber now up at Coppice Corner. He's trying to get down the inside of Aldworth as well. Heron and Miles Hodgson is a little bit further up ahead. They'll do 2 good dices at Mallory Park on Boxing Day, but now another of the Rogue Motorsport prepared cars, that of Alex Knight, the Scottish-based driver, goes through. Ex-Scottish legend, this racer, Alex Knight, who's been a winner in the MR2s in the past at Brands Hatch a couple of seasons ago. Out of the chicane and along the Wyckoff Straight they come once more then. There's Mick Nichols, you can see, father of Stuart. Stuart now. Christian White is just behind him, but for how much longer? He's ahead of him now. They go onto the brakes. This will be interesting. Nichols has the inside line, gets his nose back in front. That leaves actually behind him the door open for Will Powell to try and follow through and get past Chris White, but he doesn't do so. So it's Nichols, White, Powell, then a gap back to Hodgson, who's on his own a little bit. There is the 44 car, which is Wayne Lewis doing battle. Oh, and was there a touch there with Mick Nichols? 44 car then spins around. That's Wayne Lewis. That's the car pointing back in the right direction and is able to rejoin. This is a replay. This is what David Asbury saw. It was a narrow avoidance there because Lewis was spinning around on the exit of Redgate corner. This is what it looked like from Mick Nichols. He was down the inside. Oh, and it's just a slight touch, really. There was a gap there, I think, in all honesty, but Lewis perhaps just didn't quite realise Nichols was there, and a racing incident, I would say. Here's Chris White. Oh, and off he goes up at Coppy's corner into the gravel. Now is he going to be able to drive through this? In a sense not, but he's losing momentum. He's trying desperately to get out the other side, but no, he's not going to do it, and the car literally grinds to a halt. Well, that is a great shame, because on the fourth lap of the race Chris White was in third position. He'd been doing battle with Stuart Nichols, of course. Two roadsters together, Jonathan Grimes, who we heard from at the top of the programme, and number 89 Mick Nichols as well. Grimes started on row 11, Nichols on row 7. They've managed to get together in the midfield. Queue of cars sitting through the craters in the old hairpin now. Oh, and Nichols out of shape there. He loses a second or so because of that. It puts him back into the clutches of the car behind. There's David Hemingway. Behind him is the number 71 car, which is Graham Mailings. One of the father and son teams. His son Tom is out on track as well. There's Wayne Lewis trying to recover from his earlier incident. On board with Mick Nichols again. He's got back on terms with Grimes now. He qualified faster than him, of course. Trying to forge his way past. They run side by side through the Craner curves. Grimes ahead at the moment. He's going to have the inside line for the old hairpin. Tim Hohen just going over the line, and then the 43 car of Darren Aldworth as well. That's 6th and 7th places going through. Then next up you've got the 33 car of Alex Knight, and just behind him you have number 21. 21 of course being Phil Hutchins, as they make their way around Redgate and Hollywood. Here's David Asbury, number 80, further back down the order, and he too is off the circuit and into the gravel trap. You can see a bit further round the corner the car of Chris White, but Asbury a bit more fortunate. He's able to get out of that Coppice gravel trap, whereas Chris White wasn't, and he can rejoin his race. That's the 27 car then of Sean Traynor in the lead of the race. Stuart Nichols has closed the gap. Oh, and it looks like Andrew Strange is out of it, I'm afraid. Driver that came into the MR2 Championship last year, the 34-year-old management consultant from London. He's had to retire. On board with Nichols, who's not too far behind Sean Traynor. There's traffic ahead as well. That's no doubt going to liven things up in these closing stages of the race. Traynor goes to the inside of that back marker now as they head down towards the chicane. If he can get that car between himself and Stuart Nichols, he'll be very pleased. Nichols trying to follow through. Can't do it. I thought there was going to be contact there. I think they just about avoided it. That's number 49, David Rowe. And look at the gap that's given the race leader, Sean Traynor, all of a sudden, as they now are going on to their final lap of the race. Confirmation of that on screen now. So less than 2 miles to go between Sean Traynor and what would be his first win in the Miller's Oil Toyota MR2 Championship. He was the top rookie in last year's championship and finished 5th overall. But Sean Traynor, on his dad's birthday, looks like he's going to give him a win. What a fine birthday present that would be. Sean Traynor in this car. Did he race last year as well? Once again, it's Lee Hall that's on the spanners for him, so I'm sure that Sean will be heavily indebted to the man that maintains the car for him. Just coming up to lap the number 73 there. That's Simon Wallace. 44, Wayne Lewis, just in behind David Hemingway there. This is a bit further back down the order, 17th and 18th positions as Lewis has another spin. Oh, it's not been a particularly happy race for him. Started 19th, climbed up the order and has dropped back down again. Out of the final corner comes Sean Traynor to take the checkered flag and win the opening round of the Millers Oils Toyota MR2 Championship. But Stuart Nichols slashed the gap at the end to get to within less than half a second. Miles Hodgson is going to be in third place, just in the background there. But the two drivers winning their respective classes, Stuart Nichols in car number 88 and the overall race winner, number 27, that was Sean Traynor. Here are the official results then. The win game to Sean Traynor by 0.38 seconds. He didn't get the fastest lap though, that went to Stuart Nichols on a 1 minute 37.40. Behind Hodgson, Barber, Powell and Heaven completed the top 6. And further back, Darren Aldworth was an excellent 7th, ahead of Phil Hutchins, Alex Knight and Lewis Ward in number 40 completed the top 10. Best of the Class A cars was number 55, David Hemingway.
Slightly different look to the podium than we had last year, and Sean Traynor, you're the first winner of this year.
Yeah, absolutely chuffed. Couldn't have asked for any more, really. I've been praying for a bit of dry weather for the last 2 weeks, and the rain comes out and I get my first win. I think I like the rain now.
Right towards the end there, you were put on your heels really, because Stu Nichols was catching.
He was, yeah. We come across some back markers and under yellow flags, and he was right on me, and I think another few laps and I would have had a right battle. So I was quite glad when the last lap would come out. Absolutely chuffed.
Is this a sign of what's to come for the rest of the year?
Well, let's hope so, yeah.
Stuart Nichols on the podium once again to start the year. It's a little bit easier than last year with Matt Palmer now not in it, but still a great race for yourself.
We had a cracking race out there today. The big thing for me was I had a terrible start. I haven't done a wet start in ages, obviously, and then Sean got away because I got involved in a battle with Christian White. Once I'd got through that battle, I was just trying to desperately rein him in, and we had a battle of the back markers. Really, it was about fun trying to get through those back markers.
You did well though to catch him up, but it was right towards the end that you kind of lost out with one getting in the way of the chicane.
That was it. I was trying to look ahead of me. To be honest, I caught Sean so easily at one point because he came up about 3 or 4 cars into Coppice, which allowed me to really gain on him in the yellow flag zone as well. And then, do you know what? I think I've got a quicker car, so let's see what happens in race 2.
That's right, you got all the chance to do it again in the second race. Conditions, you're hoping it to be a little bit drier?
Do you know what? I'm happy now in these conditions. I'm getting comfortable, so let's just see what happens.
Miles Hodgson coming home in third place there. You enjoy the race?
Really, really good race. First time for me in the top 3, so I felt great. Really felt comfortable all race. Car felt really, really planted, so really pleased. The start wasn't as I hoped. Dropped from 3rd to 5th, but then managed to claw it back, so really pleased, yeah.
Is this a sign for you what's to come this year? You progressing a little bit more now?
I hope so. This is only my 4th race with the MR2s, so there's a lot to learn, and I'm getting my racecraft sorted, so really, really pleased, yeah.
Join us after the break in a few moments for race 2. There's a new way of setting the grid for race 2 this weekend. It's the fastest lap times from the first race that set the grid for the second event. So it's Stuart Nichols that lines up on pole position, Sean Traynor next to him. One to watch out for is going to be Chris White, because he only got 3 flying laps in before he went off into the gravel trap. So he is only on row 7 of the grid. Red lights are on. Another 13-minute plus 1 lap race is underway now. So 1 or 2 cars possibly slightly out of position then because of issues in the first race, but a great start there from Sean Traynor from the outside of row 1. Another poor start really from Stuart Nichols, and he said he had a poor wet start. He had a poor dry one, as well as White is barrelling down the inside already into Redgate Corner past number 21 Phil Hutchins. 71 Graham Mailings now up ahead as well, the ex-short oval racer. Cars fly through Hollywood and down the Craner curves for the first time. We go on board with Stuart Nichols then. He's in second place despite that poor getaway behind the race 1 winner Sean Traynor. Stuart Nichols in number 88, the 36-year-old from Ware in Hertfordshire, already giving away a few car lengths to the man that he was beaten by less than 0.4 of a second in race 1. It's Powell in 3rd, Hodgson 4th. It looks like Tim Heron is in 5th place. There's Alex Knight in the red and white car, 31 going through as well. That is Ben Rowe in a different car, different colour for this season. Used to seeing him out in a red machine, of course. Down to the chicane already are the race leaders then. A bit of a gap already emerging between the top 2 and the rest, headed by Will Powell, who finished that first race in 5th position in the end. There's Mailings and Aldworth and Knight and 44 Wayne Lewis, who had those 2 spins in race 1, looking for better fortunes this time. They're about 3 abreast going into Redgate Corner. It's Heron around the outside there of Powell, who has to give best in the end. Does Tim Heron to the lighter roadster. In doing so, he lets Miles Hodgson through as well, up into 4th place. Through the Craner curves, down towards the old hairpin. On go the brake lights on Hodgson's car. As he was saying earlier on, a very new driver to the MR2 Championship, but is adapting to the cars quite quickly. Already right on the pace. You can see that car has got road licence plates on the back as well of Miles Hodgson. Christian White trying to forge his way through. Up along the inside of number 89, Mick Nichols, in his 65th year, and White makes up another place now, puts him on the tail of Barber. Look at the gap the top 2 have over the rest of the field. Hodgson in 3rd place. Barber it is now that's up into 4th position. Oh, and a bit of a mistake by the race leader, and Sean Traynor goes off at the old hairpin, and Stuart Nichols takes the lead of the race. So a mistake from Sean Traynor there has cost him the advantage, and now the roadster goes through, and Stuart Nichols, well, can he take full advantage here and go for the race victory? Still a long way to go in this race, but he's got lots of experience now. He's been racing in the championship since 2010. After that, he'd only just done a bit of fun karting, really, on board with Tim Heron, whose background was in speed events in a Lotus Elise before coming into the MR2 Championship. And he there is side by side with Mick Nichols, who goes through on the inside at Coppice Corner. Along the straight towards the chicane, which is in many ways one of the most critical points of the lap. It's a real good opportunity for place changes. Actually, this new chicane, as it has been for about 3 years now, has really improved, to my mind, the flow of Donington Park and the quality of the racing we see on this national circuit. There you can see Knight and Hutchins, 21 on the left is Hutchins, 33 on the right. The red and white car is Knight. They are wheel to wheel, having a really good fight as well, and that is a fight that is over 9th and 10th positions, as there is a problem, I think, there for is that the Powell car? Yes, it is, number 35, Will Powell, going slowly there out of Hollywood, so he is losing some positions. On board we go with Stuart Nichols, and Sean Traynor is back into the lead. Well, the Nichols lead was short-lived. All of this contact, and Nichols goes off into the gravel trouble at Claims. Damage there, I think, to the front of the car. He's going to get out of the gravel trap, I think, but he's lost a lot of time now to the race leader. Has he lost a place is the question. Yes, well, he certainly has to now, because he's got no speed just where we need to. Going up that hill into Coppice Corner, and it's been overtaken by his dad and by Tim Heron as well. So Mick Nichols now goes up a place, and that will be to, 5th position now. So Sean Traynor it is that leads. Miles Hodgson, as a result of that, is promoted to 2nd place, and Mark Barber up into the podium positions. And what do you know, Chris White from 13th on the grid is now 4th, and then everyone is trying to be 5th place. It's Mick Nichols that's the incumbent at the moment, then Tim Heron, then Stewart on the recovery drive, he was leading half a lap ago, and then it is Alex Knight. So 4 cars all vying for the same piece of tarmac. 5th position here. Heron trying to go down around the outside. Stuart Nichols therefore sees a gap down the inside. Knight's watching this all unfold, possibly waiting for it to end in tears ahead of him. Will it? No, well, Stuart Nichols just has to tuck in behind Heron there. He's finding hard work to regain those places, and he's going to be passed here by Alex Knight as well. It's not going well for Stewart. Just wonder if maybe some less cosmetic damage that's been picked up as a result of that brush with Sean Traynor en route to McLean's a lap ago, that's possibly making the car handle not quite as Stewart would like it. Trying to get back through on the inside there. Heron it is that's going to lose out, I think. They'll put Coppice corner. On board with him now. Stuart Nichols is to our right. There he is. He goes up a place. Heron loses a position as he just adjusts his visor. They did that on the last lap as well, so I just wonder if that visor isn't a good fit and it keeps slipping down in front of his vision. In his mirrors there you can see Tim Heron. He's very aware that someone's behind him. Oh, and that's a moment for Merrill Reddit at the back of the field, number 81. A conventional way of rejoining the circuit. But great to see some of the Mark 1s out this weekend. Well, it's still Mick Nichols at the head of this group, but now Stuart Nichols is next up. Then it's a change, because Stuart Nichols goes through on the inside of his father there at Redgate Corner. Then it's Alex Knight, who was about to say. Then Wayne Lewis and Darren Aldworth have got themselves involved because Tim Heron, who's now very out of shape, passes the car behind him. Both drop back. I think it may well have been Phil Hutchins that was just in behind Tim Heron there. On board with Stuart Nichols, so he is now up into, fifth position for the moment. Oh, and big problems there. And that's Mark Barber, who was in third place. Looks like the engine has gone there on Mark Barber's car. He's off onto the grass between McLean's and Coppice corner. He's going to, I think, park up by the barriers. He'll find the nearest exit point and Marshall's post. Oh, and a big out of shape moment there. That's Jonathan Grimes, who spins onto the circuit. Oh no, he's right in the middle of the track. Can they all avoid him? Maxine Nichols, I could see going through, number 17. Oh, Grimes gets away with that. Good battle going on here. That's between Maxine Nichols, newly qualified as a driving instructor, by the way. Congratulations to Maxine for that. And number 95, which is Tom Mayling, son of Graham, who we saw earlier on. We go on board with Maxine now. She's chasing after Martine Fahy, and it's good to see that Maxine is having a really good race here. She finished 21st out of 32 finishers in the opening race, and she's running well here as well. Fahy up ahead of her at the moment. Last lap for Sean Traynor then. He's down to the chicane for the final time already. Miles Hodgson it is in second place out of the chicane, and Sean Traynor hadn't won before in the MR2 championship, but he's now done it twice in a day. I don't think the checkered flag came out in actual fact, but the clock has counted out down to 0. We've had the extra lap as well, and 27. Sean Traynor takes the win then from number 54, Miles Hodgson, in second place. Now this is Mick Nichols about to come through. He is just about going to hold off Alex Knight for 5th position. That's been a good close fight as well. 3rd and 4th were Christian White and Stuart Nichols. So good day's racing in the MR2 Championship, and let's now have a look at those classified results. A double win for Sean Traynor. The victory margin this time was 1.72 seconds back to Miles Hodgson, who got the fastest lap at 125.63, but well outside Matt Palmer's lap record. White, the 2 Nichols and Knight completed the top 6. For the back, Wayne Lewis 7th, a much better result for him ahead of Darren Aldworth and Tim Heron. Phil Hutchins completed the top 10, and of Powell and Mansbridge, Class A went to Trevor Cooper this time.
But I'm Christian, 3rd place on the podium here at Donington. How was that race for you?
Yeah, it's good for me. I was first podium as well, so I'm really pleased with that. Come from 13th, so yeah, really happy. Yeah.
I think it's a much more open playing field as well for this year.
Yeah, I think it's it's chopped it up a little bit. It's still very competitive. I think everyone's got better. So yeah, it's a big field, strong field as well. So.
You now just need to go a few steps higher at Brands Hatch.
Yeah, I've got to try a bit harder. I quite like Brands, so we'll see what we can do.
Great day, well done, Christian.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
2 races down, 14 still to go, but this is how the points look. Sean Traynor has 50 ahead of Miles Hodgson on 43, Stuart Nichols on 41, then a big gap back to the rest. It's very tight though from the 4th place man downwards. But still, as I say, 14 races to go, including the next one, which is at Brands Hatch in 4 weeks' time. Do hope you'll join us for that. But for now, from all of us here at Donington Park, it's goodbye.